Hello and welcome to this edition of Batavia Muckdog Baseball here on YouTube Live. Sorry for the little bit of delay. We did have some showers throughout the day here in Batavia, New York, but the sun is now shining. The field is actually in very good shape. The infield, kind of the best that it's looked all year. And we're ready for some baseball here at Dwyer Stadium as your Batavia Muckdogs will host the Elmira Pioneers, the first game, of a 3-game set. Hello and welcome. I'm Griffin Della Penna, bringing you along all of today's action here at Dwyer Stadium as these two teams have been neck and neck in the standings as of late, with Elmira losing their past 5 games and Batavia still hovering right around 500. The Muckdogs, even though they have a little bit less of a record, they are a game and a half back of the Pioneers for second in the West Division, currently are actually leading this season series against the Pios 4-3 right now. As we're still getting things underway, it is Irish night here at the ballpark, sponsored by O'Lacey's, the Irish pub here in town. And the Tompkins Bank of Castile starting lineups are about to be announced, so I'll give it to you now. Getting a little fancy here now. We can just pop it on the screen and talk to it. Leading off will be the center fielder, Blair Frederick, who's had a lot of great at-bats as of late, getting a lot of great contact. Just hasn't seen the hit total that he would like to see. However, he will be leading off tonight. Batting second will be Spencer Marcus, the right fielder from Niagara University. Batting third will be tonight's DH, Abner Benitez. We've seen him throughout the year start in left field. However, he will be tonight's DH. And highlighted in that picture will be the cleanup hitter tonight, Jerry Reinhart from the University of Akron. Again, similar with Blair Frederick, he's had some great at-bats, but his numbers just really aren't showing that. A big RBI guy can come in big spots when you need him most. He'll be batting fourth tonight. Charlie Sakowski getting bumped down a little bit to be the number 5 hitter for your Muckdogs, and just going to be the extra hitter. Gives them a little bit more flexibility, as this is a big game for the Muckdogs if they decide to put him on the mound or if they need him at short. Batting 6 will be the backstop, Bryce Mortellaro from Ranger College. Getting bumped down again as they try to balance this lineup out to make it more complete. Cam Connolly now will be batting 7th and playing second base. We haven't really seen him back in the field in quite some time. Trevor Dean will get the start in left field as he will be batting 8th in the Muckdog lineup. Mitch Fleming getting the start at first base as he will be the number 9 hitter in the Muckdog lineup. And then rounding things off, as this has kind of been his spot now, Michael Florides will be the number 10 hitter and playing shortstop tonight with Dathan McGrath on the mound. Dathan has been excellent in his last 2 starts. Let's see if he can continue to trend in the right direction in a big game again versus the Elmira Pioneers. Last time McGrath was on the bump against them, he did not have a great start. For the Pios, they're just trying to do whatever they can, as luck has not been on their side. Like I mentioned, they've lost their past 5 games, as well as getting 4 games rained out since the last time that these two teams met on June 30th. Back-to-back days that they've also been rained out. They were supposed to play the Oneonta Outlaws on Tuesday, the 6th. That game was postponed, and then they got all the way to Jamestown yesterday, which is an extremely far drive from Elmira. They got there, and they were told that the field wasn't good enough, and they turned right back around. They're going to go with Jeff Mejia leading things off. He'll be tonight's extra hitter. Donovan Montgomery, who his stats have kind of came back down to earth a little bit. He's hitting .338 now. He'll be tonight's shortstop batting second. Bobby Marsh, who's been red hot at the plate, hitting .380. He will be playing first base from FAU. He'll be batting third. In the cleanup spot will be Ben Shore. We've seen him be the catcher for a lot of these games, the catcher from Auburn. He'll be playing right field tonight. Dom Popa will be the center fielder. We've seen him a lot in right field from the University of Pittsburgh. He'll be batting 5th. Alex Lucchini, first time that we'll get to see him, as Lucchini is a commit to UMass Lowell. Very few at-bats, but he's excelled in his time in Elmira. Batting 7th will be the George Mason infielder, tonight's DH, South Trimble. Peter Theodorelis, we've seen him on the mound. We've also seen him out in left field. We'll see him in left field tonight as the Malloy College outfielder / pitcher will be batting 8th with a .300 average. Robbie Barrientos from Old Dominion, he'll be behind the plate tonight, batting 9th. And then Emilian Pitre, the commit from Kentucky and originally from Canada, as he will be tonight's second baseman, with David Ferguson on the mound for the Pios. Again, we have the national anthem going on right now for a great night of baseball. Try to pick that up as much as we can. As with the new audio, I don't actually pick up as much background as I used to. And a great rendition of the national anthem right there, as baseball is ready to go here. And here on Olacey's Irish Night, here at the ballpark, still even with that weather that we've experienced here all day, still a decent crowd out here on a Thursday night. Again, like I mentioned previously, these two teams will face off one day for the next 3 days. Little 3-game set. So a home series for Batavia is tomorrow night. They'll be at Dunn Field with Game 3 also having a lot of playoff implications on the line. With seeding, as Jamestown starting to run away with things and almost has the best record in the entire league at this point in time. They're currently sitting at 20-7. And Elmira, that's in second place right now, only a game above 500. They're 6 games back of Jamestown for first place.
The person that will be throwing out our ceremonial first pitch.
Jason Luce.
He's a lifelong resident of Batavia, an avid sports fan.
Jason Luce finding our first pitch here tonight.
Welcome to Dwyer Stadium, Tom Servone.
Tom Servone, a big supporter of Olacey's with the pitch there, and it gets to the plate. So we will be ready to go here at Dwyer Stadium as start time almost approaching 8 o'clock now. However, regardless, baseball is here, and we're excited to see Dathan McGrath on the bump. As his last 2 starts, he has been lights out. His season line for him, 6 games, 6 starts in 29 innings. He's led up 27 hits with 13 earned runs, with 25 strikeouts compared to just 9 walks for a 4.3 average. Now, again, with me mentioning that he has been lights out in his last 2 starts, only allowing 2 runs, that just shows the progress that he has overcame throughout this season. He does have a 2-1 record. In his past 2 starts, he's picked up a win against the Niagara Power on this past Saturday on July 3rd, as well as against the Auburn Doubledays, where he had a scoreless appearance in that game. So we'll see McGrath on the mound against Jeff Mejia, Donovan Montgomery, and Bobby Marsh. The West Texas A&M starter has had a great story. Was actually a college walk-on, and he's had a long road to get to this point, but he is a very hard worker, and you're going to see that here tonight, as him and assistant coach Tony Brewington have made a lot of changes to not just his mechanics, but also his mentality when he's on the mound, especially considering those 1-2 counts and those 1-1 counts where, you know, he should be throwing a lot of strikes. Since that, he's been even more effective, and he pounds the zone to get that first strike to start off the at-bat. A little more on McGrath. He just finished up his sophomore year at West Texas A&M. He's a 6'5", 195-pound pitcher from Cedar Park, Texas, who spent time at Tyler Junior College and then West Texas before landing at West Texas A&M. In 2020 with the Western Texas Westerneers, that's a great name for you, McGrath tossed 9 innings, recording 6 strikeouts. So again, the leadoff hitter for the Pios will be tonight's extra hitter, Jeff Mejia, as that first pitch will miss. And first pitch is 7:43, so an original 7:05 start. Just a little bit backed up, but not too bad considering the conditions that we had almost now 3 hours ago. It was 60-mile-an-hour winds. We had the tarp on the field all day long, and I wasn't sure that we were going to have baseball here tonight, but the weather forecast went in our favor, as here is a 2-1 count here to Mejia. That pitch swung on and missed. Great off-speed pitch there by McGrath. And again, you can kind of tell a little bit where the weathered spots where, a little bit of water might have got under the tarp, right towards second base, a little bit in front of Connolly, and then near first base where Mitch Fleming is. That backdoor slider just misses to the left-handed hitter, Jeff Mejia there. So it'll be a full count here. And McGrath in the stretch. That one swung on and hit high, but foul. So it'll be Mejia, Montgomery, and Bobby Marsh. And again, if you're from Elmira, regardless of who you are, I really appreciate you here tonight on this broadcast. As that ball's hit into shallow center field, but coming way in on that one is Blair Frederick for the first out of tonight's ball game. And it is unfortunate that John Clement could not be with us tonight. Excited to see him and hope that everything's okay with him. So with now 1 out in the inning, here is the Siena middle infielder going into his sophomore year, Donovan Montgomery. A few Siena Saints, not just on the Pios, but that I've seen so far this year. A few on Mansfield, a few on, I believe it was Newark. That one also in there for a strike. And the 0-2, that one bounces and will trickle its way to the backstop. So here is the 1-2 count. McGrath takes a step off. And that pitch home just misses the outside corner. McGrath walked that one off. He thought it was in there. The sun is now peeking out towards left field, so we've had all sorts of different weather here tonight. That one fouled to the backstop. So Montgomery fighting in this 2-2 count here. But again, if this is your first broadcast in a few games, I do have some new audio equipment now, so I might sound just a little bit better than before. So that one bounces to the plate, 3-2. Get that a little bit better view for you. So the 3-2, that one also misses. So Montgomery comes and battles back into the at-bat. He'll get the free pass. Now with 1 out here in the top of the first inning, Montgomery will be standing on first base. So Bobby Marsh from FAU hitting a team-high 379. As, McNeil Ward has only had 2 at-bats, and Lucchini just got here. So Bobby Marsh, 58 at-bats, 22 hits, 7 doubles, and 12 RBIs. He's done a great job. He's also a great defensive first baseman. So Marsh, he's really going to be the everyday first baseman for the Pios now, as Cam Hill, the Auburn Tiger, that was teammates with Jack Sokol and Ben Shore, he just went home. So, that's just this time of the year. The Muckdogs, we've dealt with it too. Just guys in the halfway point, regardless if they're a pitcher or a hitter. This season is a grind, and at some point for everybody, life happens. Injuries also happen. We've seen that with guys like Sterling Turman and Joey Battaglia, guys that would have been everyday starters here in Batavia, and just that's how the game is sometimes. McGrath now gets the pitch. He's in the stretch. That pitch home just misses, I think, low and maybe a little outside. So here's the 2-1 now to Bobby Marsh with Ben Shore, one of those Auburn teammates, on deck. Again, I've really just seen him behind the plate, have not seen him in right field. That pitch is swung on and hit out far towards right center field. That one's going to get down near the Skyworks sign. That one goes all the way to the wall. Bobby Marsh, his helmet flies off. He's going to be held up at second base, and smartly not throwing it in was the second baseman Cam Connolly, as Elmira is going to strike first in this one with the RBI double by Bobby Marsh. So Marsh, now picks up his 13th RBI of the season. Like we've seen multiple times this year, Elmira has always been the team to strike first. We've seen the resiliency of this Muckdog group come through in a lot of these games, especially against the Pios. However, still early, a lot of baseball left to be played. And that one is called for a strike. Nice slider there to start off the at-bat to Ben Shore. Shore's been great against the Muckdogs. Every time I see his batting average, I have always expected that it would be higher against all teams, hitting .240, but he's had 2 3-hit performances against the Dogs so far this season. Maybe he just really likes playing here in Batavia. That pitch home, fouled back. So now the count is 1-2 here. So right when we all got here, all the interns and all the other management staff, when we got here today, we put the tarp on because we knew the weather that we were supposed to get. We were very happy with that decision because if we did not do that, this game would have absolutely not been played here tonight. So that one swung on and hit over to Reinhardt at third base. He'll take a step and throw a strike over to Mitch Fleming at first for the second out.
Fans, be sure to stop over by the first baseline. Get your Batavia Baseball 50-50 tickets. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 2, down Popa.
So now it is Dom Popa's turn here, as Popa has a man on second base with 2 outs. First pitch to him runs up and in for ball number 1. Again, I'm seeing some comments that it is a little laggy. Just, I guess I'm dealing with some low storage space on this computer. Let me just try to get that up and running for you guys. That pitch home, nice slider, and no dice there, not giving it to him. And it is a little tough with our home plate umpire here tonight, not giving us much tell up here in the press box of what his call is on those borderline pitches. So that pitch home on the 3-1. That one's rolled over to Cam Connolly. Takes a nice hop to him, and they will get the final out in the inning. So getting out of that jam is Dathan McGrath. McGrath now has a 1-0 hole for his offense to come back in as Batavia is down 1-0. However, they will have their first ups here in the bottom of the first inning with Blair Frederick, Spencer Marcus, and Abner Benitez. The first three due up here for Batavia. We'll be back here on YouTube Live in just a second.
Bensound.com. 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 Bensound.com.
And we are back here on YouTube Live here in the bottom of the first inning. Due up now will be Blair Frederick, the center fielder for the Muckdogs. So with the man on the mound, David Ferguson, I'll give you Ferguson's stats after that first pitch home is in there, I believe, for actually, excuse me, a ball. That one swung on and fouled back by the the Xavier University at Louisiana. It's always a little funny to say because we're not used to those NAIA schools up here, but a little more with the man on the mound, David Ferguson from the University of Pittsburgh, a teammate of outfielder Dom Popa. So far this season, we have seen him once in relief against the Muckdogs. Ferguson, 3 appearances, 1 start, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts for a 6.75 ERA. With another foul ball here, the count goes to 2-2. So again, Elmira strikes first. They have multiple times this year, especially here at Dwyer Stadium. Seen them take big leads, 7-0. We've seen some crooked numbers on the board. That one bobbled, and they're going to say that Blair Frederick is safe at first. The bobble by Donovan Montgomery, that's going to cost him there, and that's going to be an E6 for the slick shortstop to start things off. So again, just putting the ball in play is Blair Frederick, and kind of a cue ball hit over to Montgomery. Off balance throw after the bobble, and he's awarded first base. So now Spencer Marcus steps up. 337 hitter on the year. He's gotten all the way up to 400. As again, he's another guy. It's really just been top to bottom here on this Muckdog lineup that for the past week or so, they've been in a lot of low-scoring games, some pitching duels. We've seen this offense be very explosive at times. And they want to get back to those crooked numbers on the scoreboard to get back to their winning ways. They've lost a lot of close, low-scoring battles. And with now that we're in July and time is ticking to get over 500 and grab one of those playoff spots here in the West Division. There's the 2-0 now from Ferguson. Again, very tall right-hander on the bump. That one also runs inside to the Niagara University outfielder, and they're going to say that nicked him. He has been hit a whole lot this year, and he'll have that same result. So with Benitez due up here, let me quickly fumble through my notes because I know it's a pretty crazy number. Spencer Marcus has already been hit by 10 pitches. That is his 11th on the year. So Benitez already showing bunt. He'll pull back as that one was way high. And making a nice grab at that one was Robbie Barrientos. Just a little more level for you guys. So with nobody out, 2 men on, 1-0 count to Benitez. That one runs inside as well. Benitez repping that new Mo bat that it's a company that the majority of the team is now using. Jason Luce, a avid Batavia Muckdog fan, has been hooking some guys up with sponsoring some bats for players, and players' parents also directly buying through Luce's connection. The 2-0 right there, that's not really the 2-0 cut that you're looking for if you're Benitez or the coaching staff. Sometimes I like to peek over at Skip Martinez at third base and Tony Brewington, because some of those pitches that are hung in there, they decide not to swing, and some of the pitches that these hitters as of late have been wailing on just need to have some better approaches at the plate across the board. And I think that's the thing that's so frustrating for this coaching staff is, one, they've seen it. They've seen these guys do these things and be successful, but they also know how much they're capable of. Now here's the 3-1. Benitez, a sweet swinging lefty. Time is called there. So we'll try the 3-1 yet again. Ferguson on the bump. I'd like to see what his stats were at the University of Pittsburgh this past year, because that is a great school. That one is yanked down the line. That one is going to be a foul ball. Just foul there by Benitez on a pitch that was pretty up and in, and he muscled that one out to the right field line. However, it's just a tad foul. Clubhouse manager Eric Mozicki giving a few balls there to our home plate umpire, and we're ready to go. And again, if things are still a little laggy, please let me know in the comments section so I can try to find some other alternatives. And sorry, Mr. Lucchini, that you were dealing with that. So with the full count now, here is the pitch from Ferguson to Benitez as that one swung on and hit high over the backstop and onto the metal awning that's right above my head. So we'll try the payoff pitch again in this at-bat. And the pitch home yet again and winning the battle. Nice changeup there by David Ferguson for his first out here tonight, but also his first strikeout. So here is Jerry Reinhardt. He was that featured player on today's graphic, the Tompkins Bank of Castile starting lineup. That, again, if you'd like to see, just please look on all of our social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That pitch home, that one will be held up. Spinning on that one is Reinhardt on the slider away. Again, Jerry has been a guy this year that has came up in a lot of big spots. He's only hitting right around 215, but I think his stats don't really serve him too much justice on the caliber of at-bats that he's had this year. He's done a great job moving runners along, hitting the ball the opposite way when you need to advance a guy in a situation with maybe it's just a man on second base, only one out. No, Jerry will have that team approach to just hit the ball the other way. He does have 13 RBIs already this year, 16 walks compared to a decently high strikeout rate, and I think that that's the one piece of the puzzle for him that he still needs to figure out is just lowering that strikeout total. Because he's shown he is a complete hitter with 15 hits already, 2 doubles, 2 triples. Now it's just not being so susceptible to the strikeout. That one he'll watch yet again. And some of these home fans giving the Batavia native a little bit more motivation here. In a big spot, with already Batavia down 1. A long look at Blair Frederick. Him and Peachray were looking at that one. Some fans believing that was a balk. We'll try the 2-2. Runners are in motion. Jerry Reinhardt hits that one the other way, and that one's going to get down. That one gets down. 1 run will score. Getting waved around is Spencer Marcus, and Jerry Reinhardt with a great at-bat there. His 3rd double of the year, and Batavia goes up in this one early, 2-1. Right down the line goes Reinhardt. That one might have just flew up some dust. First base coach Tony Brewington with 2 arms showing that that one was a fair ball. And now here is Charlie Ciccone. Ciccone, today's extra hitter, batting .280 on the year. Already having some success off the right-hander in Ferguson. Scoring all the way from first right there was Marcus, and you know what helps that the runners were already going in motion. First pitch to the Wisconsin stout utility man, primarily a shortstop. Who knows if in this upcoming MLB draft might see him as a pitcher. A big pull hitter. Yesterday with bases loaded against the Niagara Power. They were down 2-0 at the time. He yanks the ball out towards right field. All the runs would score. Originally, people thought that it was going to be an inside the park home run. However, I do believe that they gave him the extra base hit with the error attached to it as he would also score. That one runs way inside. Hopping back in the box is Charlie. As, yes, I do believe that they gave him a double on that from yesterday because his doubles total is now at 5, and he's been tied atop of the PGCBL with 3 triples for about the last week or so. That one fouled away, so the count is 2-2 now. 15 RBIs. Already 97 at-bats. Not a big walk guy. Only 8 total walks, one of those being a hit by pitch. So here is the 2-2. So here will be the full count now. To Charlie Sacounty. Taking a long time. Here's the pitch by Ferguson. That one has popped up softly into left field. Peter Theodorelis going after that one. He calls off Donovan Montgomery, who ranged in from the infield. As staying stationary at second base will be Reinhardt. So already a pretty long first inning here for Ferguson. As Bryce Mortellaro, the catcher from Ranger College, the Lakeland, Florida native. Still with Reinhardt on base. He's been, again, with a solid approach. He's been hitting balls very hard in this past week. That one was hit hard but foul. He's really changed his approach at the plate and taken a lot of that focus, not away from catching, but shifting it more towards the hitting side of things. He's been hitting the ball very hard. That one swung on and missed. As Skip Martinez told me yesterday, the 3 balls that he put in play were by far the hardest hit balls that he's had all season. Whacking line drives across the yard. He just hasn't seen the hit totals, like I've said for a few other Muck Dogs, but their time will come. Reinhardt's going in motion. That one put into play. Montgomery's going to glove that one. He'll throw it over, and that will be the inning ending out right there. So Batavia does put 2 runs on the board after the 2 RBI opposite field double down the right field line by Jerry Reinhardt. So a nice response there by this Muck Dog offense, as they're still getting things rolling here, but they do have the lead so far in this one. We'll be back here shortly here on YouTube Live. And we'll put a little bit of music on for you in the meantime. And we are back here with the top of the second inning. Now approaching here as the number 6 hitter, Alex Lucchini. Again, a guy that we haven't seen here so far in action against the Muck Dogs. He just reported to Elmira a few games ago. He's going to be an incoming freshman at UMass Lowell in the fall. So again, the season line for Lucchini as he fouls that one back. Hitting .400 in 5 at-bats with 2 hits. We'll see what he can do here. Listed as a utility guy, he's playing third base. So in the next few days, we'll see the other positions that will see him play in the field. So we'll have the 2-2 to the first man here in the second inning. That one misses just a little bit high. The lengthy McGrath here, you can really tell, tries to use that height to his advantage when he's on the mound, as he'll get his first strikeout here in this outing. Dathan McGrath right there. Starting things off on a positive note here in the second. Now South Trimble hitting exactly .250 on the season. He's been used all over the place, all across the infield. He is a pretty solid hitter. That first pitch is a ball. It is a little tough to see from this umpire. And throughout the game, it does kind of get a little bit easier with what their tendencies are, as that one, got all the plate, might have just been a little high. That pitch right down Broadway, but again, just low. So now has to find the happy medium of those two is McGrath. The 2-1, swung on, hit high. Chasing after it will be Mitch Fleming and Bryce Mortellaro, and making the catch is Bryce Mortellaro, and that is a risky play because that should not be his play to make. As a former catcher, you know that ball with the rotation on it, that's going away from you. So you have to keep that in mind as Mitch Fleming, he's coming in on that ball. I know that those two have had, a very similar play, a little bit more towards the warning track just about a week ago. But again, and last time that ball actually, was not caught. So maybe Bryce had a little bit of that in mind. I'm not too sure, but that's a play that Mitch Fleming should be making right there. Here's Peter Theodorelis. Theodorelis hitting .300 on the year. That is a vast improvement since he started coming into the lineup a little bit more in the past few weeks. He's 9 for 30. 2 doubles and 2 triples. He's a player from Malloy College, a great Division III school. The 1-2, swung on and hit softly into center field, chasing after in dead man's zone, and making the catch is Michael Florides. So some nice plays made there by the field here by the Muckdogs, as going 3 up, 3 down is Dathan McGrath. And the first 3 up due for Batavia will be Cam Connolly, Trevor Dean, and Mitch Fleming. Going to also try something a little bit different here. We'll see how it goes, thanking some of our sponsors here in the broadcast. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the area's premier. And a big thanks to our sponsors, Batavia Downs Gaming. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the area's premier entertainment destination with great restaurants, events, and on-site hotel. They also host the hottest concerts this summer with the Rockin' the Down Summer Concert Series each Friday night. Be sure to check them out and get tickets at BataviaConcerts.com. Also, thank you to Ficarella's Pizza. Ficarella's Pizza of Batavia is where you can get your fix to satisfy your cravings for piping hot pizza, scrumptious subs, and mouth-watering wings. Every Friday, enjoy Ficarella's fabulous fish fry. Don't forget the fixed plate, fat wraps, and all your favorite pasta dishes. And they have blueberry and raspberry barbecue sauce that tastes great on wings. So when you have that craving for delicious food, get your fix at Ficarella's Pizza on Liberty Street in Batavia. And lastly, thank you to Eli Fish Brewing Company, the home of the Muckdog Ale. And a big thanks to our sponsors, Batavia Downs Gaming. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the area's premier entertainment destination with great restaurants, events, and on-site hotel. They also host the hottest concerts this summer with the Rockin' the Down Summer Concert Series each Friday night. Be sure to check them out and get tickets at BataviaConcerts.com. Also, thank you to Ficarella's Pizza. Ficarella's Pizza of Batavia And trying something a little different there with some of the ad reads. Makes my life also a little bit easier in the middle half of the innings. So due up here is Cam Connolly. As the Pepperdine University commit takes strike one by the Pitt Panther, David Ferguson. And my apologies, Malloy's actually a Division II school. Thought it was a D3 school. Regardless, I know it is a very good program. I've heard great things about it. Back-to-back sliders there that Connolly watches 4 strikes. So we'll see his 2-strike approach. Here's that one's put into play out towards right field. That one going to be over the head of Ben Shore in right field. We've seen him pepper some balls to right field lately, and he's just going to smartly, with nobody out, just stop at second base. So a leadoff double there for Cam Connolly as they try to give him another ball on the outer half of the plate. And Connolly makes him pay, as that will be his 3rd double of the year, 6th extra base hit, as we did see him have a triple in the game against Geneva just 2 nights ago. So here is Trevor Dean. Trevor Dean hitting .306 from Washington and Jefferson College. It's been extremely effective when his number's been called. Played a lot of center field. Now Blair Frederick's kind of there. So, again, he is that 4th platoon outfielder, just still looking for a role. But if he continues to hit the way that he is, he's going to find a lot more time. And I would say that he might be a little bit better defensively than Abner Benitez, who is mostly the everyday left fielder. So we might see him out there more often. 1-1 as lots of looks over there to Connolly at second base. He misses yet again. Ferguson really having trouble to locate, especially when there's runners on base. Blair Frederick reached on the first batter of the game with that error by Donovan Montgomery, and we've seen since then that when runners are on, struggling to find the strike zone. Nice hold back there by Dean to make it a 3-1 count. So the 3-1, that one runs way in, and I think that got Trevor right in the noggin. And hopefully he's okay. So after the second hit by pitch, as Ferguson in back-to-back innings, the second man that he's faced in both of those frames, he has plunked. So now Mitch Fleming's turn. He's getting a lot of cheers here at the ballpark from the group that's right in front of us, the nearby Oakfield, Alabama Little League team. And we do that, the baseball buddies before the games. And scoring to bunt is Mitch Fleming. He's going to put that one down, and that's going to be a perfect place bunt. Throwing that over will be Lucchini, so a sacrifice right there by Mitch Fleming. Batavia has had trouble throughout this year putting the bunt down. And Mikey Florides due up here. So with 1 out in the inning, 2 men on, the infield will be in as ball 1 to the Felician middle infielder that since he's had this opportunity to be basically that number 10 hitter, He's done a great job as that one's flared over the head of Emilian Pitre. 1 run will score. Being waved around is Trevor Dean. The play at the plate, sliding in, and he's safe. Trevor Dean's leg was in there in time. A nice throw by Ben Shore from right field. However, Trevor Dean was safe at the plate. So a 2 RBI single there by Mikey Florides, as your score is now 4-1 in favor of the Dogs. And as I was talking about Florides being that guy at the bottom of the lineup that can hit guys home as well as start things up for the top of the lineup. He's just been that ideal double leadoff guy that is a coach's best friend, as that will be his 11th hit on the year, picking up his 5th RBI. So 1-0 count here to the leadoff man, Blair Frederick. And again, that's just really clutch right there with only 1 out, the infield in. That flare could have maybe been caught if they're playing in their normal positions, as Pitre is a good defensive second baseman. However, he was not going to make a play on that one with him being on the infield grass. So scoring runs in pairs is Batavia so far. Backdoor sliders. That one also misses. So 2 RBIs for Reinhardt, 2 for Mikey Florides. That one bounces to the plate. Michael Florides is going. A strike thrown by Robbie Barrientos, and out at second will be Florides, as he did read that downward action very well, but Barrientos with the hose to get the second out. So now 2 outs, nobody on for Frederick, who has scored a run here tonight. And the 3-0 is in there for a strike. My apologies for wiping the count there. So Frederick. Pitch from Ferguson. That one hit high and out towards center field. Dom Popa will go after that one and make the catch. So again, Batavia puts 2 more runs on the scoreboard. They're up in this one 4-0, as this offense is doing pretty well against the University of Pittsburgh pitcher in David Ferguson. With that being said, 2 innings are now in the books. We'll be back here on YouTube Live in just a second.
bensound.com. 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 bensound.com.
So we are ready here in the top of the 3rd inning, as you are joining us here on YouTube Live with another Batavia Muckdog baseball broadcast, as your Muckdogs are out in front so far, 4-1. That first pitch runs inside to the number 9 hitter, Robbie Barrientos, who just threw out Michael Florides at second base. That one swung on, hit high out towards Blair Frederick, as the balls do seem to be traveling a little bit more as of late here at the park. And a quick first out there for Dathan McGrath. Now here's Emilian Peachray, a guy with a lot of hype around him. One of the best young players in Canada. He is a University of Kentucky commit, and that is if he will potentially be playing at Kentucky, he might get his name selected in this upcoming draft. That one swung on, hit hard, and that's what I'm talking about. A guy with a lot of potential right there. And hit hard by Peachray, who coming into this one was only hitting 182. But with a swing like that, you are going to have a great future here in this game. So with a man on first, the top of the lineup is back up here, Jeff Mejia. Mejia, a guy from the University of Maine. School that I've always seen pictures, and it's just, the views are remarkable there. So with the hit by Peachray, that's his second of the game. And in the stretch is Dathan McGrath. With that pitch, that one swung on, and that one's hit into the gap. So back-to-back nice barrels there for the left-handed hitters against McGrath. A nice throw in by Blair Frederick, and they're going to hold up Peachray at third base. So with one out, two men in scoring position here.
Shortstop number 23, Donovan Montgomery.
Donovan Montgomery, this is a great spot for him as he's been one of the leaders of this team in many offensive categories so far in the first month of the season. As we'll see with Batavia's shift here, kind of have the corner infielders in a little bit. Getting some range with the guys up the middle. Montgomery, again, hitting .338 coming into this game. 25 hits. That one swung on and hit foul. 6 extra base hits with 16 RBIs, 15 walks, 6 hit by pitches, and 7 stolen bags. So his Siena coaching staff is going to be extremely happy with his play this summer. That pitch home, swung on, and that one's going to be hit maybe into foul ground. Cam Connolly trying to make a play at it, and Mitch Fleming, that gate actually opened on him, so hopefully somebody will latch that, as that could definitely be a hazard there. I also realized in the half inning that my camera was a little bit off-centered, so apologies for that, as I am a one-man crew up here trying to pan the camera, do the score bug, and keep score while also trying to keep a clear mind to talk to you guys and bring you through all the action. That one is belted out to center field. Blair Frederick making a great catch to at least have 2 outs in the inning now as a sacrifice opportunity for Donovan Montgomery there. That ball was hit hard out towards the Eli Fish sign. So 2 down in the inning. Elmira tacks on another run to make it 4-2, and Montgomery picks up his 17th RBI of the year. So with 2 down now, Mejia standing on third base. Bobby Marsh, his first hack is foul, and might have just gave someone a haircut over there. That ball was hit pretty hard. And just seeing your comment now, Mr. Winger, that's great to hear that, those little small changes do make a difference, and that's why I was, so antsy to get this sound equipment. It really does take these broadcasts to another level with all the different things that I can do. and Mr. Mejia. I appreciate that as well. The live stats are something that I'm actually not doing. We do have an official scorer here, and that is something that will absolutely be addressed, throughout this game if there's anything that, should be altered as well as after the game. So after another foul ball, it will be a 1-2 count here to Bobby Marsh. Marsh should have that RBI double in his first trip to the plate. That one is high, and now coming home is originally Bryce Mortularo. I don't think that he would have thought that coming home on it would be Mejia. However, even Mejia was like, oh, this is a free bag right here. That was high. I think that maybe Bryce thought that it wasn't his glove. Kind of took a second to register that the ball, popped out. So your score is now 4-3. And whatever they rule there, if it's going to be a pass ball or an error, it's still going to have a run scoring there with Mejia. So now with nobody on, here is the 3-2 count. Not sure why that wiped away. The 3-2 count hit high. Marsh has a very similar, swing to Cody Bellinger. I don't know why I just thought of that, but that's a comparison that I saw, as Floridas will come down with that one. So here in the middle half of the third inning, I'll stay on with you to thank again some of our sponsors as we transition into the bottom half with Due Up, Spencer Marcus, Abner Benitez, and Jerry Reinhart. I'd like to thank, we're talking about Dave Fisher here, a guy that is amazing. We'll try to pan over to him. Actually, you can't see him, but he is a guy that does a tremendous help here at the stadium with security and being a season ticket holder. His family's always here in attendance, so we're very thankful for him. Toured for a long time in Afghanistan, Iraq. He's a hero to many here in Batavia. But also quickly like to thank all of our sponsors: Batavia Downs Gaming, Ficarella's Pizza, Alex's Place, Eli Fish Brewing Company, New York 529 College Savings, United Memorial Medical Center, Eli Fish, Alex's Place. I'm doing all these off the top of my head. Restore. And again, we will talk a little bit more of our sponsors in just a second. So Ferguson getting ready here. It will be Spencer Marcus, Abner Benitez, and Jerry Reinhart. Guys towards the top of the order that have had some success here in today's game. As Ferguson still getting warm. Already out to a 4-3 lead. We've seen a lot of the games that Batavia's been in as of late. They've been right around this score. The last time these two teams met back in Elmira, Batavia had a great comeback win as they won that one 9-7. And I mentioned in the pregame show, Elmira has lost their last 5 games as that losing streak reaches all the way back to June 27th. They lost 2 games against teams that they are by far better than. They lost 13-11 to Newark on the road, as well as a game on the road against the Oneonta Outlaws, 9-7 on the 28th. And after talking to some people close to that team, with them being teams lower on the totem pole, they use it for guys to get maybe a little bit of rest or preparation and at-bats for guys that might not be out on the field as much. As first pitch is a strike, that one a ball to Spencer Marcus. However, you do kind of have to find that perfect balance if you're interim manager Andrew Drum, as you want to win as many games as possible. As that one's hit on the ground, Montgomery gloves that, and another off-balance throw that is in there in time for the first out. So after that ground out, here's Abner Benitez. He struck out in his first trip. So after those 2 losses, they were home against the Muckdogs, and Batavia was down early. They let up 5 runs in the second inning in that one and came all the way back, won that one 9-7. Then after some rainouts, as they've also dealt with some adversity with not being able to get games in, as it was 5 days until their next game. Then they played Niagara at Sal Magley Stadium on the 4th of July, lost that one 6-3, then went home the next day and lost 16-3 on the 5th. So, some big losses there. So now that's why their losing streak stands at 5 games. And then in the past 2 days, they were supposed to play games against Oneonta and Jamestown, but those games have gotten rained out. So they're in that tough position where, you want to snap this losing skid, but when you're not playing games and it's tough to get in a rhythm, it's just a very hard set of circumstances for this Pioneer squad, as Benitez was retired there on the force out at first base. So Reinhardt here did have that double. That one swung on and hit over to Donovan Montgomery, and that will be the final out. So quick 3 outs there for Ferguson. That's good for him, as he did run into some trouble in the last frame. However, the score will be 4-3, and I'm also going to have a few more ad reads for you here, as this set will be Alex's Place, Tompkins Bank of Castile, and Dr. Noah Hoy. At this time, we'd like to thank more of our sponsors. Noah Hoy Chiropractic. This game is sponsored by Dr. Noah Hoy, the official team chiropractor of the Batavia Muckdogs, located at 184 Washington Avenue in Batavia. For an appointment, please call 585-343-9316. Also, a big thanks to Alex's Place for the best ribs in the state, as well as Tompkins Bank of Castile. Tompkins Bank of Castile is a community bank that was founded back in 1869. They now have 15 offices in 6 counties across the Western New York region. Services include complete lines of consumer deposit accounts and loans, business accounts and loans, and leasing. In addition, insurance is offered through an affiliate company, Tompkins Insurance Agencies. Wealth management, trust, and investment services provided through Tompkins Financial Advisors. So a big thanks to Dr. Noah Hoy, Alex's Place, and Tompkins Bank of Castile. And a quick break there, as we do thank Tompkins Bank of Castile, Alex's Place, and Dr. Noah Hoy, who's always here giving guys adjustments before the game, and he is a huge key to our success, so we thank all the work that he does, as well as everything that Tompkins does for us. They've been one of our best sponsors, and being the sponsor for our starting lineups, which we appreciate, as well as Alex's Place, that provide the best ribs in the state. That one is swung on and popped right in the air. Chasing in on it, Mitch Fleming and Cam Connolly. And big Mitch Fleming will take precedent on that one over Cam Connolly for out number 1. So after 1 pitch, 1 out to Ben Shore, here's Don Popa. He grounded out to Cam Connolly at second base in his first at-bat of the day. That one swung on again, first pitch. Gloving that one is Mitch Fleming, and coming all the way to cover that is Dathan McGrath. So 2 pitches, 2 outs here. We'd love to see the 3-pitch, 3-out inning. You never see that. That is always a rarity. And unfortunately did not have it, but close enough. Now steps in Alex Lucchini. Lucchini takes that pitch right down the middle for the first strike in this at-bat. And the pitch home. McGrath just misses low and outside on that changeup that has really been his go-to pitch in a lot of these even counts. He has great command of it. And if you trust that pitch, it can take you, a long way. As a lot of guys, they don't like to use that pitch until they're really ahead in the count, as it is such a feel pitch. And, if you leave that over the heart of the plate, we've seen it a few times here today that, guys can hit that in the gap. Again, if you're just joining us here on YouTube Live, really do appreciate all the support. So this count will be full here to Lucchini. Again, I know that this is a little choppy here today. Apologies for that. That pitch home, fouled away. Both teams currently with 3 hits in this one. Let's see if Lucchini can change that. There's another foul ball by him. Again, the pitch home from McGrath. That one will plunk Lucchini as he will be the first man on here in the 4th inning with 2 outs. Obviously not intentional there with it being a full count and 2 outs. As these two teams at points this year have not been best friends. But before this one, as the tarp was still on the field when Elmira arrived, a lot of the guys were just talking and chopping things up. Not sure where that one missed to South Trimble, but Trimble's now ahead in the count 1-0. That pitch home, that one smacked into the right center gap. Chasing after is Blair Frederick and Spencer Marcus, but Blair Frederick will throw that one in to second base, and now rounding as that one is airmailed by Cam Connolly, and now advancing to third base will be South Trimble. So that was an aggressive go sign there to bring in Lucchini, but pays off for him. Lucchini scores from first base. That error will be charged to Cam Connolly on the throw. That's the first error for Batavia here today. And now this game is back tied. It's 4-4. So that's just going to be a double for South Trimble. Will not be a triple due to the error. That pitch just got a little bit too much of the plate. They're going to see if he touched third. They're saying that he was safe. Smart appeal there. Got nothing to lose. So Lucchini, after being hit by a pitch, grinded away in that at-bat. Makes it a 4-4 ball game. That one is smoked by Theodorelis and foul. Again, Theodorelis at Molloy College, a Division II school that was brought to my attention by the chat, and I thank you for that. So, tonight's left fielder now in a 1-1 count. One and two now. McGrath trying to get out of this, leaving Trimble stranded at third base. He's already in the stretch. He likes to work fast. Here's the pitch. That one will be backed out of the way by Theodorelis. Trying to strand this runner at third. Taking time call was Theodorelis. Was granted. The pitch was thrown, but it will not count. Getting set yet again is Dathan McGrath. The pitch home. That one misses, so the count will run to full. That pitch also runs high, so now the free pass is awarded to Peter Theodorelis, so it'll be runners on the corners and 2 outs. And again, in yesterday's win, Julian Pichardo went the majority of the game, and another win on the season for him, with A.J. Winger coming in for relief, only using 2 pitchers in a 6-3 win. That's, very critical for this upcoming stretch against the Pioneers, where you need to win some games and make up some room in the standings. As, again, with them being in 4th place right now, they're only a half game behind Geneva, but they also have Niagara and Newark right on their tails. That one way outside and nabbed by Mortellaro, so count is 1-1. That pitch checked at. Trimble will make his way back to third. Nice block by the Ranger College catcher. So again, the Pioneers have not been a road team with a lot of success, only having 4 wins on the road so far this season, currently sitting at 4-7 in that department, 9-5 at home. That's where they do a lot of their damage at Dunn Field. However, Batavia's had their number at Dunn Field. They are accredited with 3 of the Pioneers' 5 losses at home. So the full count now. That pitch home by Barrientos. It's barely tipped by Cam Connolly, and that one plays Plinko. Cam Connolly can't grab that one, and the run will score. So Elmira takes the lead as the ball nicks off Dathan's glove. Cam Connolly was already shifted over towards second base and could not get there in time. So the run will score in the form of South Trimble. Theodorelis makes his way to third, and that will be an RBI single for Robbie Barrientos. So after scoring 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, now there's, 2 in the third. Already 2 here in the fourth. That pitch swung on and hit foul by Emilian Pitre, who already does have a line drive single here in this one. Again, already getting a lot of hits in this one. 5 hits already. That one foul tipped. Not being able to snag that one was Bryce Mortellaro. So in an 0-2 count, trying to win the battle as he's already had an 0-2 count against Pitre. And we'll see if McGrath can get out of this as he's already lost the lead, allowing 2 runs here in the top of the fourth. That one swung on and missed. Ethan McGrath gets the strikeout. He gets out of the inning. So 2 runs on 2 hits for the Pios. We will be back here on YouTube Live, transitioning into the bottom half of the 4th inning, as Charlie Ciccone, Bryce Mortellaro, and Cam Connolly will be the first 3 to up. And we are ready to go here in the bottom half of the inning as Elmira just took the lead. Again, all of that occurred with 2 outs in the inning. Dathan McGrath getting a quick 2 outs. And a little 2-out rally there for the Pios means that they now have the lead in this one. Trying to change that as, it's been a neck-and-neck game. It's both teams regaining the lead multiple times. Here to start off, Charlie Ciccone. Ciccone now with no batting gloves, changing, his appearance a little bit up there at the plate. Big swing there to start off the inning. As the University of Pittsburgh right-hander, Ferguson still on the bump. And earlier when I was grabbing a lineup from the interim manager for the Pios, Andrew Drum, I did see that Ferguson was wearing something on his wrist. Not sure if he's been dealing with some injury issues throughout the year. Ciccone now with Mortellaro on deck. That one bouncing in the dirt. Nice block by Barrientos. So again, with Elmira's 5-game losing streak, Batavia has just kind of been, very up and down, consistent. They're 5-5 in their last 10. And bounces to the plate yet again to make it a full count. As if you look at the West Division standings, Jamestown again running away with things. They're currently 20-7, 9-1 in their last 10. Elmira's 3-7 in their last 10 games. They still sit in second place with just 1 game over 500, as there's a big strikeout there for Ferguson to start out the bottom half of the 4th inning. And again, Elmira in second place at 13-12. Geneva just a half game up on the Batavia Muckdogs as they sit at 14-15. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. Batavia sitting at the same thing. They're just 13-5. So Geneva's played a few more games. The Niagara Power, who they were supposed to play Geneva tonight, but that game has been postponed due to weather at Sal Magli Stadium. They're sitting at 11-16, and Newark in 6th place at 10-16. Again, all these stats and everything that I basically mention out here can all be found on PointStreak.com. That's what I do my game day prep with, is basically just deep digging on all this information on Point Streak. Great app to use. That one hit high into shallow center field, and Donovan Montgomery will make the play. As the last 6 Batavia Muckdogs have been retired in order. So after seeing in the top half of the inning a 2-out rally for the Pioneers, let's see if Cam Connolly can start the same thing for the Dogs. That one's hit hard over to Lucchini. Lucchini with a strong throw, and that's back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for David Ferguson. So 4 innings are now complete, and now Elmira still up here in this one, 5-4. I'd like to thank our last batch of sponsors here in this one. As let me just get things pulled up here. UMMC, Restore, and New York 529 College Savings. Quick shout out to our last 3 sponsors here on today's broadcast: United Memorial Medical Center, New York 529 College Savings, and Restore. Restore provides crisis intervention and support services to survivors of sexual assault and to their loved ones. Trained advocates are available 24/7, helping you make informed choices concerning medical, legal, and counseling needs while offering advocacy and information about your rights. Visit RestoreSAS.org for more information. You can reach Restore 24/7 at their confidential hotline at 1-585-527-1757. Restore means trust. Restore means empowerment. Restore means healing. Restore is here, no matter what. And look at that perfect timing right there as Bryce Mortellaro throws that one down. Again, a big thanks to UMMC, New York 529 College Savings, and Restore. A great batch of sponsors that, again, without all of these amazing companies that help us that are located in our area, we would not be able to have baseball here in Batavia. So we thank them for all that they do for us. I'm also just seeing a comment here by Kara. So that one smoked down the right field line, and that's going to be down for a hit as Jeff Mejia will pick up his second extra base hit here of the night with a leadoff double, as that will be the 6th hit for the Pios. But again, Kara, I'm sorry, don't know the pronunciation with that, asked if the Muckdogs will be making the playoffs. That is a great question, as it really does depend. Obviously, there's still time left in the season with the end of the year at, I believe the last game of the year for us is July 30th. With that being said, it really does depend if 2 or 3 teams in our division will make the playoffs, and that all depends on who has the best record in the entire PGCBL. If it is Jamestown, which they are currently just a half game out of the overall top record in the league, to the Amsterdam Mohawks that are in the Eastern Division, then that would mean that the East Division would have 3 teams in the playoffs, regardless of how that 3rd team is shaping up. But if Jamestown has the top seed, and Batavia is in those top 3 seeds. Currently they are 4th, but they are just a half game back of the number 3 seed to the Geneva Red Wings. Then they would be in the playoffs. So it really does depend. There's a 4-pitch walk to Donovan Montgomery, and it kind of feels like the wheels are starting to fall off here for Dathan. Again, this is a team in Elmira that has had success against him in the past. With Bobby Marsh again, the Cody Bellinger-esque swing. Quick little mound visit. Tony Martinez is coming out to talk things over. As with a sort of fresh bullpen, we'll see if they'll go to Kyle O'Neill. And I believe that they will. So Dathan McGrath's day will be done as the right-hander from West Texas A&M goes 4 complete innings, allowing 5 runs up to this point. The 2 runners that are on base, he is responsible for, allowing 6 hits while striking out 2. Again, not a big strikeout guy, pitches to contact, and the Elmira Pioneers somewhat got the best of him so far, but let's see what Kyle O'Neill can do here in this one. So again, we will see O'Neill quickly warm up here as the Felician University bullpen arm. And we will be back here on YouTube Live in just a second. And Kyle O'Neill is all warmed up and ready to go as he will relieve Batavia's starting pitcher here in this one. As Dathan McGrath, he's gone a little bit longer in his past few starts. However, running into some trouble here tonight. The first pitch by Kyle O'Neill is in there to Bobby Marsh, the number 3 hitter for the Pios. That will be strike 1. Again, a little bit more on O'Neill. 9 appearances so far this year, 7 1/3. Just pitched 3 innings against the Syracuse Saltcats back on Monday. And that was his longest outing of the year. Again, those stats don't count because it was an exhibition game, but had 6 strikeouts, 3 scoreless innings. It was a very impressive performance for him as he's gained a lot of that confidence back. And with 10 strikeouts compared to 6 walks on the year. And again, that is in games that have counted towards the official PGCBL games. Again, that's what those exhibition games are really there for. It's for these guys to gain a little bit more, not just confidence, but get their reps. Some of these pitchers that aren't the top bullpen arms, especially earlier on in the year, if you come out of the gates and you don't do as hot, then you're almost not an afterthought, but you're not going to be the first arm to come out in a big game like this. But due to how great O'Neill has pitched, as that one's hit high into center field, Blair Frederick will go under that one and not tagging as that was hit pretty shallow. So O'Neill already gets the first out. And again, he is a finesse guy, but he also does have strikeout stuff. So Ben Shore, tonight's right fielder, 0 for 2, with a ground out in a pop out to Mitch Fleming. Again, if you look at this field, it would be very tough for you to tell that there were storms here all day long with a beautiful sky, cotton candy-esque sky in the background. That one way outside. Beautiful night here in Batavia, New York at Dwyer Stadium. Always are due for a picture-perfect view. As again, due to the circumstances earlier in the day in the office, we were getting phone calls off the hook if this game was going to even happen. And there's a line drive by Ben Shore. Getting in front of that one, it's Trevor Dean. They're going to wave him around to score. Jay Reinhardt's going to have to make a strong throw, and he does, and he is out at the plate. A nice relay there by Trevor Dean and Jerry Reinhardt. Andrew Drum wanted to try to catch Trevor Dean sleeping in the outfield, but he puts a throw right on the money. Jerry Reinhardt, you could tell, didn't try to rush anything, just wanted to put that ball in a perfect spot for Bryce Mortellaro to get down and get a clean tag on. And the play at the plate will go Batavia's way, as this game will stay at 5-4 even after that single by Ben Shore. And even with the lead, being a little aggressive there was interim coach Andrew Drum. That pitch home, that one is hit into center field. That one is going to drop. Blair Frederick will grab that one. He's going to throw it in, and a strong throw again to the plate that hits the back of the pitcher's mound, and scoring will be Donovan Montgomery. So the score will be 6-4 in favor of the Pios. So that will be an RBI single for Dom Popa. So they are filling up the hit column. That went behind Alex Lucchini there. Lost the handle on that one was O'Neal. Eek. And O'Neal now taking his time. Doesn't need to rush anything. Back-to-back singles. There's only one run scored after the play at the plate on the relay from Dean Reinhardt, finished off by Mortellaro. So after that ball that went behind, Lucchini comes back with a strike on the outer half. Here's the 1-1 with the pitch home. That one runs inside yet again. Ben Shore standing at third base. The lead runner with Dom Popa trailing at second. O'Neal trying to get out of this jam. As Batavia's already down 2. Back picking there and trying to get the tag down. And just back in time was Ben Shore at third. Getting the strike, though, on the swing. So the count is 2-2. Bryce Mortellaro has shown time and time again that he does have a great arm. So O'Neal, after a corky at-bat, the 2-2 fouled away. Lucchini, the UMass Lowell third baseman, has scored a run after he was hit by a pitch and was the first strikeout for McGrath in his start. We'll try the 2-2 yet again. Dancing at third is Ben Shore. That one swung on, and that's going to be hit over the head of Cam Connolly. He jumped way up to try to get that one. One run scores, and the second will follow. So now the score is 8-4 in favor of the Pioneers, as their offense has exploded here in the past 2 innings, putting 2 runs on the board back in the 4th and 3 here in the 5th. Doing a lot of damage with 2 outs. This Pio team will not go down without a fight. So a 2 RBI single there for Lucchini. He'll pick up his first ribbies here in the PGCBL. That is a great off-speed pitch in there for strike 1 to South Tremble. O'Neal set, the pitch home. That one be ball 1. So that relay, even at the time, with it being a tie game and getting that big out for their second out of the inning, that was big, but also it's bigger now, as a 5-run ball game sounds a lot different than a 4 to me, and especially seeing this team play every single game this year. There's been multiple times that the Muckdogs have came back from 4 runs down, especially with the time of the game. There's a lot of baseball still left to be played. That one swung on by Tremble. Chasing after it is Reinhardt. He's in foul ground. He'll stand after that one and make the catch. So 3 runs on 4 hits for the Pios, and Batavia, after being retired in their past 7 at-bats in order, it's time for them to get those bats rolling that we saw earlier in the contest, as it will be Trevor Dean, Mitch Fleming, and Michael Florides due up first for Batavia. Our PA announcer here at the stadium, Paul Spiata, is announcing that we have the kids run here at the ballpark presented by Graham Corporation. It's always a big hit here at the ballpark. So I'll take a quick little break here. David Ferguson still on the mound for Elmira. We'll be back here on YouTube Live with more Batavia Muckdog coverage here in a minute. And my apologies for that as I missed the first pitch there. However, it will be ball 1 to Trevor Dean. Trevor Dean still on the mound is David Ferguson. Ran into some turbulence earlier in the game, allowing 2 runs in both the first and the second inning as Batavia got out to a 4-1 lead. So it's a much different ball game here. Big 2-0 hack there on the curveball that was right down the middle. Trevor Dean missed that one. Dean did score the 4th run here for the Muckdogs in this one after being hit by a pitch. 3-1 count here. Will be Trevor Dean, Mitch Fleming, and Michael Florides. Florides had that big 2 RBI single when the infield was in for the Pios. Big hack there, so your count will be full here to the San Diego, California native. The payoff, swung on and missed. Back-to-back pitches in that same location. So now stepping in will be Mitch Fleming.
First baseman, number 36, Mitch Fleming.
Originally from Georgia, plays his collegiate ball at Montevallo University. This is a guy that, as a freshman, had a very impressive campaign with a few bombs, 10 RBIs, and had a few this year as well. I believe it was 2 bombs and 6 ribbies. And I see go Mikey Flo. He's on deck, so you'll see his at-bat here. That one swung on, hit foul by the first baseman slash catcher in Fleming. So the 1-1 now. The pitch home. It's Ferguson, there's some points where I think it's more when he has those long pauses in the full or in the stretch. He does kind of come from a side arm slot. That one hit into play, and not being able to make that one is Donovan Montgomery. That will be a single, as back in the hit column will be the Muckdogs. That is their 4th of the game. Michael Florides, one of those guys that does have a hit so far today. Mitch Fleming getting a big hit there. Nice for the confidence for him. Now here is Mikey Flo. Again, he's been one of the hottest hitters in this Batavia lineup. He's embraced that role of being the number 10 hitter. There's no shame in that, as it is a crucial spot in this order. Mitch Fleming takes his lead. The pitch home, that one is called for a strike. Nice frame there by Barrientos. That one outside. They're going to pick back to Fleming, and if that throw was on the money, it had another base runner called out for the Muckdogs after nice throws by Barrientos. So the count is 2-1. Mikey Flo at the plate. That one's hit into play over to third base. Taking a slow hop. It's going to have to be a strong throw by Lucchini, and it is. So it will just be a fielder's choice. This ball was hit soft enough that at least it wasn't a potential double play ball. So Fleming will make his way to second. We'll flip things back to the top of the lineup. Blair Frederick due up here. He's 0 for 2. Did reach on a error by Donovan Montgomery. First pitch to him, slider, just runs in there for a strike. Taking a long time in the stretch. Ferguson, that pitch in the dirt. Barrientos is a great defensive catcher. Another beautiful sky here. Very dim now, but some faint colors out in the distance. Some shades of red, orange, pink. Those very dark clouds faintly out there, too. That one upstairs. 2-1 now. Frederick got ahead. Let's see if he can make him pay now. Getting set yet again is Ferguson. One misses two. I do believe that there's a right-hander just starting to throw in the Pioneer pen. Just some people out for Batavia. Nobody actually actively getting ready. As they're going to hand the ball to O'Neill again in the sixth. Here's the 3-1. That one swung on, hit out towards center field. Don Pope has to go way back on it, and he's going to make the catch, going out towards the center field wall. So Mitch Fleming does get a hit, as Batavia did not have a hit since the second inning. So that's a positive for Batavia, but they're going to have to start chipping away at this lead. As you can see now, the Graham Corporation Kids Run is in full effect. We will flip it over to the sixth inning here on YouTube Live, as Kyle O'Neill will get back on the bump for Batavia. And Kyle O'Neill is ready to go for your Muckdogs here in the top of the sixth inning. Batavia does have some work to do, and it would be very big for them if O'Neill can have a quick inning here towards the bottom half of the Pio order. Peter Theodorelis, the number 8 hitter for Elmira, starting things off with Robbie Barrientos and Emilian Pitre. Pitre does have a hit today, so does Barrientos. As Elmira has scored in every inning of this ballgame except the third. A quick correction, that's actually since the second inning. It's a 1, 2, 3 inning for Dathan in the second. Elmira did get out to a 1-0 lead. in their first ups. Batavia responded with 2 runs of their own, added 2 more in the bottom of the second, so they were in the driver's seat. And since then, 2 runs in the third, 2 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth. Putting a goose egg would be big for him. That one hit over on the left side, and making the play is Michael Florides on a hop, as they will retire the leadoff hitter in Theodorelis. Robbie Barrientos came into the day hitting .227. Does have 1 hit and an RBI. It's also flown out to center field. That one is hit over to left field, and that's going to get down for his second hit of the night. Right in front of Trevor Dean. It looked like he was thinking about maybe diving for it. Smartly did not make that decision, as that ball was ripped into left field. So Emilian Pitre here. And again, this upcoming amateur draft will occur in just a few days. First round action on Sunday. And maybe some guys across this league will also be selected, getting the first out at second base. Nice throw there by Cam Connolly to get the lead runner for out number 2. So a fielder's choice there, as we will flip it back to the top of the lineup with Jeff Mejia, as he has 2 doubles here tonight. So with Pitre now the man at first instead of Barrientos, it's Jeff Mejia's turn. And the stretch is O'Neill. He'll come home, and that one bounces out of the glove of Mortellaro. So advancing 90 feet will be Pitre. I actually just got word from the PGCBL that one of the players of last night across the league was our own Charlie Ciccone. Hit that big double that scored 3 runs, and he would also score after the error. So he went 2 for 4, scored 1 run and 3 RBIs. It's great to see Charlie recognized for being the great player that he is. That one's fouled away and will come back onto the field. Making a nice play on it is our clubhouse manager, Eric Mozicki. Pretty cool now, 66 degrees, as that humidity that we had early in the day was basically eliminated with all that rain. And there is a big uppercut swing there by Mejia, as he will strike out. This inning is over, as Batavia does put a 0 on the scoreboard even after the single and then fielder's choice. And we are doing the teachers of the game here with, again, it being Irish night presented by O'Lacey's. O'Lacey's giving away a lot of free merch here tonight. Again, with it being the middle of the 6th inning, we'll take this time quickly to thank some of our sponsors that make everything possible here in Batavia with the Muckdogs. I'll be back here in just a second with more Batavia Muckdog coverage here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thanks to our sponsors, Batavia Downs Gaming. Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel is the area's premier entertainment destination with great restaurants, events, and on-site hotel. They also host the hottest concerts this summer with the Rockin' the Downs Summer Concert Series each Friday night. Be sure to check them out and get tickets at BataviaConcerts.com. Also, thank you to Ficarella's Pizza. Ficarella's Pizza of Batavia is where you can get your fix to satisfy your cravings for piping hot pizza, scrumptious subs, and mouth-watering wings. Every Friday, enjoy Ficarella's fabulous fish fry. Don't forget the fixed plate, fat wraps, and all your favorite pasta dishes, and they have blueberry and raspberry barbecue sauce that tastes great on wings. So when you have that craving for delicious food, get your fix at Ficarella's Pizza on Liberty Street in Batavia. And lastly, thank you to Eli Fish Brewing Company, the home of the Muckdog Ale. And we will have Spencer Marcus due up first here. As, again, thank you to those sponsors that I was mentioning. Ficarella's Pizza being one of the biggest sponsors that we deal with on a daily basis, with them supplying a lot of food to our concession stand, also feeding our players daily. That one swung and hit high. Emilian Petre is trying to catch that one, and he will. There's also a new pitcher here in this game with Ferguson's day being done after 6 innings pitched. It's Corson Hobbs. Hobbs is a right-hander from Samford University. On the season for Hobbs, 2 appearances, both of them being starts. He did have a complete game. I'm guessing that was a 7-inning game because he only has 9 innings pitched for the whole season. He's allowed 5 hits, 9 runs, only 4 of them earned, with 13 strikeouts for a 4 ERA. Big cut there by Benitez. He's already in an 0-2 hole here. So after Marcus was the first out on the pop-up, here is the number 3 hitter in Benitez. Again, these are the guys that need to start getting things going for not just themselves, but the rest of this lineup. As the majority of this team follows in Marcus and Benitez footsteps, and that's not what you want to see right there. Backwards K for Benitez, and quickly 2 down. With Hobbs already grooving so far in this one. But here is Jerry Reinhardt. He's already had success here in this one. Did have an opposite field 2 RBI single. That one runs in on his hands and will be called a ball. That one looks like Hobbs does have a great breaking ball. That ball looks like it's on a string. Has a lot of motion when he's throwing. A lot of body action. Seems like he has a pretty decent velocity. Swung on, hit foul off to the parking lot down the right side by Reinhardt. So here's a 2-1 count. Again, there's 2 outs in the inning. My apologies for that. Sometimes the score bug can be a little laggy. That pitch home, again, fouled in the same spot. Just needs to speed things up a little bit here is Reinhardt, as Charlie Ciccone is on deck. Here's the 2-2 count. Getting set is Hobbs. A little miscommunication with Barrientos. And he gets back on the bump. And Batavia in their home red uniforms, in the all-gray kit, as they say in soccer, is Elmira. Runs it up to a full count here. The payoff, that one will be low, and working the count yet again is Jerry Reinhardt. He'll be standing on first base with 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Again, if you're Batavia, you're not desperate for multiple runs here. You just want to get some guys on base and start to change that team outlook, as with them grooving on the mound, that being Elmira, it's tough to come back in the game when these guys are scoring very well, and that one was hit hard, and Montgomery, that was a very funky play, hit off Hobbs' glove, deflected so it wouldn't go into the shallow outfield, and Montgomery makes the play, tried to tag Reinhardt going to second base. However, they do get the final out there. So 6 innings are in the book. It is 8-4 in favor of the Pios. And that will bring O'Neill back on the mound to face Donovan Montgomery, Bobby Marsh, and Ben Shore here in the 7th. Quickly just trying to find another song for you guys. And I have to find songs that won't get me copyrighted, so here you go. And Kyle O'Neill back on the mound as he will be coming into his 3rd inning of relief here. Again, 2, 3, 4. The same guys in the order that were just up for Batavia as they couldn't get any runs to cross. Neither team could score in the 6th inning. That's why your score is still 8-4. Great breaker there by O'Neill. And again, very tough to tell when our umpire gives a strike call. And Montgomery will take that one. I'm just going to put my money on that it's 1-1. O'Neill gets set against Montgomery, who has been walked twice today, and in those times that he's been walked, has scored twice. Also has a RBI sac fly out to Blair Frederick in center field for his 16th RBI on the season. That pitch home. Misses. Actually, it is a strike. Again, I think he's just giving a quick little hand gesture, and from my angle, you can't really tell what he's calling. Maybe he's also saying strike, and I just can't hear because I have my headphones on. Nevertheless, the 2-2 runs high. I can tell that that one would have not been a strike. Great night in Batavia. The lights are on. for the Pios, trying to even this season series at 4 apiece, but O'Neill has other plans as he will get a strikeout against Montgomery for the first out in the 7th. Struck out his last 2 batters if you count the last batter that he faced, Jeff Mejia. So another K for O'Neill here on Irish night. Fitting that he's on the mound. I would say that that's probably the most Irish name that we have on the team. Marsh, big cut there. And I've seen him in batting practice. He is a fun guy to watch. Hit the ball a long way. From Florida Atlantic University. That pitch swung on and hit into center, and making a diving catch is Blair Frederick. On 2 knees, little dive there, and Frederick with the snag.
Right fielder, 19, Ben Shore.
As that was a kind of a weird swing by Marsh. He did that in the double in the gap too, where he just kind of stopped his swing. Didn't swing through on that, and on both of those he has gotten line drives off his bat. So I don't know if that's just more of a comfort thing, because on the ball that he popped up, he did not do that. Had a full uppercut swing. As a lot of people around the game now like to call that loft and want to create that launch angle to hit the ball high and far. Not too many level swings left in the game, as that one was fanned on by Shore, as he is now down in the count 0-2. Shore 1 for 3 on the day. As with 1 out back in the 5th, had that single. The 0-2, way outside, try to get a swing and a miss. Long time in the stretch from O'Neill. That one misses as well. We are sitting 2-2 here. Trying to get out 1, 2, 3 against the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Pios. That one was swung and hit foul in the box as that one clipped Shore. So we'll try the 2-2 again. Taking a long time. Our umpire getting back in there. As again, 8-4 is your score. Elmira out to a 4-run lead. That one runs up and in on the Auburn Tiger. So the count will be full. Big for Batavia to put up back-to-back scoreless innings for that offense that has been stagnant since our first 2 innings in this one. And that one, looks like Mortellaro tried to walk that one off. His wish was not commanded there. As Shore, and he got a little lucky there with not being punched out for strike 3. He will be on first base with a walk. Now it's Don Popa. Popa entered the day hitting .314. That average will continue to rise as he is 1 for 3 in tonight's game with that RBI single that he had in his last trip. Brought home the first run in that 5th inning when the Pios scored 3 runs. Again, if you're Batavia, be crucial to this potential comeback attempt. limit the damage now. And you really have to get those bats rolling. So O'Neill and Mortellaro, compared to Dathan McGrath, these two are at a much slower tempo. That one swung on and hit out to Frederick. Little flare out towards center field. That will be Frederick's second catch of the inning. Frederick with the catch, he runs in, and Kyle O'Neill just wanted to talk things over with the home plate umpire. And this time we will thank our second batch of sponsors yet again, Tompkins Bank of Castile and Alex's Place, but we'll also put the lineup here in the 7th inning stretch, as it will be Bryce Mortellaro, Cam Connolly, and Trevor Dean, the first 3 up for your Muckdogs. We'll be back here on YouTube Live in just a second. Sponsors, Noah Hoy Chiropractic. This game is sponsored by Dr. Noah Hoy, the official team chiropractor of the Batavia Muckdogs, located at 184 Washington Avenue in Batavia. For an appointment, please call 585-343-9316. Also, a big thanks to Alex's Place for the best ribs in the state, as well as Tompkins Bank of Castile. Tompkins Bank of Castile is a community bank that was founded back in 1869. They now have 15 offices in 6 counties across the Western New York region. Services include complete lines of consumer deposit accounts and loans, business accounts and loans, and leasing. In addition, insurance is offered through an affiliate company, Tompkins Insurance Agencies. Wealth management, trust, and investment services provided through Tompkins Financial Advisors. So a big thanks to Dr. Noah Hoy, Alex's Place, and Tompkins Bank of Castile. And a very nice gesture there by, I believe they are Batavia chapter, as they just did a nice performance here in the 7th inning stretch. Actually, it's the Buffalo City Highlanders that made the trip up here to have their second performance of the night with their full get-up of kilts and bagpipes. A great group to have here on O'Lacey's Irish Night. So that was a nice little 7th inning stretch, different than what we've had for many parts of this year. And again, with the lineup up on your screen, will be Bryce Mortellaro, Cam Connolly, and Trevor Dean. Connolly does have a double here today. Mortellaro 0 for 2. Trevor Dean is 0 for 1, but he has scored after he was hit by a pitch. Tony Burlington making his way out there. As talked to him a little bit earlier about, you don't want to completely change, the nature of this current team, but you also have to start thinking about next year and what they want to build here. This coaching staff is bought in, and so is the rest of management. And he was telling me today about throwing around the opportunities of, like a highlight reel or recruiting videos, because for what we're building here, schools around the country and some very big name schools have already reached out and said that they want to bring their top-tier talent here to Batavia for the great atmosphere that the fans bring, but also for the on-field product and the clubhouse, the field. Everything about this place is just top-notch, especially considering it being a summer league wooden bat league. This used to be, a team with affiliation in minor league baseball just about a year and a half ago. And in that last year that they were very successful, a playoff team. Things were trending in the right direction, just due to COVID and the shrinking of the minors. They did not receive that invitation, and I think that worked out for the better. This is a town that loves baseball, and I think that it fits this brand of baseball. It's a lot more connected with the players and have a bigger role with them. So there's a lot more regulations and certain things that that affiliation with Major League Baseball brings, and I think that this town's really like to get to know these guys, and they are just at this point in time, not saying that a lot of them cannot because they've shown that they can, is to get to the next level and be a pro player. First pitch fouled back by a guy that has every tool and has some of the best chances on this team for Batavia to make it to the next level is Cam Connolly. Getting down low, Bryce Mortellaro out there on first after the leadoff walk. Here's a pitch by Hobbs. That one misses high. But again, coming to a league like this, it's an opportunity for these guys that's once in a lifetime. We have scouts here at our ballpark very regularly. I'd almost say at every home game and on the road. They're always making their way around the PGCBL because they know this top-tier talent that belongs to this league. They know that these guys can play. So that one's yanked. That one's yanked down the line, and that one's going to get down. A nice hit on the hanging curveball by Cam Connolly. They're going to hold up Bryce Mortellaro at second base. So that would have probably, if nobody was on base, been the second double of the day for Cam Connolly. He ripped that inside curveball. So 5, 6, and 7 in this Batavia lineup doing their job. Connolly with a multi-hit game as he was moved down in the order. Not because he did anything wrong, but to try to just level this lineup out a tad more. Needs to be balanced. It needs to have guys at the top that can get on base, and these guys towards the middle, they're making things happen. Pulling back on the bunt was Trevor Dean. Skip Martinez today, when I walked in his office, had 3 different lineups out there on the table, 1, 2, and 3. After looking them over for a few minutes, I told him I really like number 1. This is the lineup that was put on the field here today. That bunt was pulled back, but it's in there for a strike. And I told him that I like this lineup based off the flexibility that it gives you at not just the order, but also with positions. As Charlie Ciccone, if you needed him to be on the mound, as he's taking that role, he wants to be out there on the bump. Pulling back yet again is Trevor Dean, as the count will be 2-1. If you want him on the mound, he can be on the field with him being that extra hitter, as the PGCBL approved the 10-man batting lineup this past year. But also defensively, it's very sound. Guys that can hit 1 through 10. Bobbling that one will be the first baseman, Bobby Marsh, and safe at first base will be Trevor Dean. So bases will be loaded now with nobody out. And again, this is the time where you actually need to start putting runs on the scoreboard. If you're Batavia, you haven't put a run on the board since the second. And these comeback cardiac kids always like to make things interesting. That will be the second error of the day for Elmira, as that's charged to Bobby Marsh.
First baseman, number 36, Mitch Fleming.
As Hobbs is losing a little bit of that control that made him very successful in the beginning. Tying run at the plate is Mitch Fleming. The first pitch he sees, that's lined back up the middle. Almost took Hobbs' head off. 1 run scores. The second scores in Connolly, and it is a 8-6 ball game. Mitch Fleming coming up big here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mitch Fleming, a multi-hit game in the 9 spot as the Montevallo University first baseman coming up clutch. Picking up his 6th hit on the year, and already he has 11 RBIs.
Shortstop, number 16, Michael Floridas.
Got that pitch that he knew he could drive, and you can see out there, he's a big dude. Thinking of bunting again. This time will be Floridas, as now the go-ahead run is at the plate. So scoring was Mortellaro and Cam Connolly on that hit by Fleming. As Batavia now with their 6th hit of the ball game. Had 1 back in the first inning after the Reinhardt double. Connolly has a hit. Floridas has a hit. Mitch Fleming has 2 hits. And Connolly has the other. So multi-hit games for 7 and 9 in the Batavia lineup. Count is 0-2. Here's the pitch by Hobbs. That one swung on, fanned on by Floridas, and 3 pitches. See you later.
Center field, number 11, Blair Frederick.
Blair Frederick now, as he is put in a spot to get Batavia back in striking distance of this one, as one swing of the bat with bases loaded, nobody out. Mitch Fleming has already gotten that deficit closer as it stands at 2 runs now. That pitch swung on and foul tipped by Frederick. Does seem like Hobbs on the mound is definitely bringing it. The 0-1. Swung on, hit, foul, back to the backstop yet again near our photographers, the Passerks, as they've been taking amazing pictures. If you're interested in seeing those, I have some links that I can send to you. I've sent them out to all the players already. They've really enjoyed that as a foul tip, and that one is caught. So back-to-back punchies for Hobbs here. As here is Spencer Marcus now making his way to the dish. So Hobbs doing his thing. As that one is hit, and ooh, that hit off Marcus. That definitely is going to leave a mark. Spencer is 0 for 2 today. Trying to get his first hit in this one. Oh and 1, 2 down, 2 men on. With the game-tying run in the form of Mitch Fleming at first base. Trevor Dean is the man on second. He takes the lead. The pitch home. Swung on and fouled back. As Hobbs is dialed back in. So here is Spencer Marcus getting deep in that crouch as the prior two batters to him also found themselves in 0-2 holes and were struck out on 3 pitches. That will not be the case for Spencer as he fouls off another pitch. And when played a little Plinko, hit off Barrientos, and our home plate umpire, and we're going to give our home plate umpire a little bit of time here. It's always the correct thing to do if you're a catcher. Again, if you're joining us here on YouTube Live, I would like to say thank you for watching tonight's edition of Batavia Muckdog Baseball. These two teams will be back in action again tomorrow night as the Pios will host the Batavia Muckdogs, even though the forecast does not look too promising. And Dunfield has gone through a lot of rain the past few days. Had to have a few games canceled, both at home and on the road. So we'll see if that game will take place. If not, we'll be back here against the Pios at home Saturday night. That pitch home, that one smoked into short center field. That one's going to drop. Trying to score is Trevor Dean, and that one thrown in, and that'll be a run on the scoreboard. A clutch 2-strike hit there by Spencer Marcus to make it a 1-run ball game. I say it time and time again. These Muckdogs love to make things interesting. Spencer Marcus with that RBI. That will be his 20th RBI on the season and 34th hit. A guy that could have his 30th hit here would be Abner Benitez as he hits that one on the ground. Marsh gloves it, and that will be his second 3 unassisted out. But Batavia gets back into this one, scoring 3 runs, 2 off the bat of Mitch Fleming on a single, as well as Spencer Marcus getting that big hit right there to make it a 1-run ball game. So we will flip it over to the 8th inning now, as on the mound yet again will be Kyle O'Neill. As O'Neill gets back out there for your Dogs. We will take a break here on YouTube Live. We'll be back in just a second. And with the game now in the 8th inning, as we were back here on YouTube Live, Eric Mozicki running things over to our home plate umpire, as well as our base ump. Not too sure what that was, but take a quick swipe of home plate, dust it off. We're ready to go. Batavia back in this game. It's hanging in the balance. It's anybody's game. Bottom of the lineup doing their thing, coming up big, sparking that 3-run inning right there. Here's the first pitch by O'Neill to Alex Lucchini. That pitch was called for a strike. Lucchini does have a hit here tonight with his first RBIs as a Pio. So in a 1-1 count, O'Neill getting stretched out. Do see Carlos Rodriguez coming up in the bullpen as he's starting to throw with Trey Skidmore. He has been legit against the Pios and everybody that he's faced all year. In his 1 inning of relief, he did that to 3 straight guys as Kyle O'Neill coming up and showing what he's made of for this Batavia Muckdog bullpen. Striking out for the second time today is Lucchini. So there's now 1 out here in the 8th. South Trimble now. Pulling back the bunt there is the George Mason infielder. And the next pitch to Trimble. Inside. Not called for a strike. So Trimble's ahead in the count now. Again, Elmira, if the score stays the same, they would snap that current 5-game losing skid. As they have not had it easy as of late. Lost to Newark 13-11, 9-7 to the Oneonta Outlaws. Both games that should be wins for them, and on the 3-0, that one way up there. And you can tell Joe Martinez, I looked over at him, and he can tell that O'Neill, this is the longest that he's been stretched out all year. He wants somebody to be warm and get ready ASAP. And Mortellaro definitely internalizing that, realizing that, so he's just going to go out there, talk to O'Neill for the time being. After those 2 losses to Newark and Oneonta, games that should be wins against inferior opponents, a loss to the Batavia Muckdogs on the 30th of June, back at Dunn Field. Batavia came back in that one. Carlos Rodriguez, the man getting warm. Currently, he shot the door and got the save in that one. And 5 days off. It was 6-3 loss at Sal Maglie Stadium. And the next day, a 16-3 loss at home against the Power. And the past 2 days, their games have been postponed. If the current forecast stays the same, they might have their 3rd straight game at home postponed. So here is Theodorellis in a 2-0 count. With 1 out, 1 man on. Batavia trying to ride this to a little win streak that could almost define their season. Big moment for them where they currently are sitting 2 games under 500 at 13-15. If they win this one, they're not above 500, but they would have more wins on the season than the Pioneers. They have played more games, but you get the point. And Geneva, with their game today getting postponed against the Niagara Power due to some pretty severe rain showers and thunderstorms. Batavia, if they win this one, be 14-15 and would jump ahead of the Red Wings, and they'd be tied at third place with Elmira, Geneva, and Batavia neck and neck at 2, 3, and 4. Jumping out of the way of that one is Peter Theodorelis, and eek. That one might have gotten the inside third right there. Nevertheless, we'll have a payoff pitch. Getting set is O'Neill. Takes a second to pitch home. That one swung on and hit, and that's going to get through. Very interesting batting stance, and it's almost like a Babe Ruth-esque style swing. He's kind of running out of the box when he swings, but hey, man, whatever works. I'm not discrediting him by any means. It's just something that you don't really see anymore in the current state of the game. So back-to-back base runners reach. Theodorelis gets his first hit of the day. Now that's going to bring up Robbie Barrientos. But before then, I do believe that we are going to have a pitching change. As doing a great job was Kyle O'Neill. He's not allowed a run so far, as they're either going to send it to Charlie Ciccone in the bullpen or Carlos Rodriguez. As we will see in a second. Looks like it's going to be big Carlos Rodriguez. Call him Los. And we'll talk more about the Muckdog closer in just a second. Here on YouTube Live, I'm Griffin Della Penna. We'll be back in just a second. And we are back here as Carlos Rodriguez is finishing up getting warm here on the field, as his warm-up session did get cut a little short, as running into a little bit of trouble was Kyle O'Neill, but he had a great appearance in relief Little more on the Tallahassee Community College right-hander. Carlos has had 8 games under his belt, pitching 14 innings, allowing just 4 hits, 4 runs, only 2 of them earned, and this is the big part right here, 30 strikeouts in just 14 innings. For a quick example, Julian Pichardo's thrown 41 innings, and he has 30 strikeouts himself. So, big strikeout guy. He's gotten that walk number down in his past few appearances. As at one point, they were basically neck and neck, so a 30-12 strikeout to walk ratio is very good. It has a 1.28 ERA. Big swing and miss to start things off. And if this is your first time seeing Carlos Rodriguez, yeah, he throws in the upper 90s. So he's had lots of scouts looking at him for this upcoming draft and in the future because he is just 20 years old. The 0-1, that one outside. His biggest thing is obviously he has a plus arm. Every team, that's going to be their first thing is why they're going to look at him. He can pitch at the next level. There's no doubt about that. The one thing that they want to see is that maturity of the command, not just with the fastball, but also with his secondary pitches. He has a full repertoire of them. He just needs to continue to locate them for strikes. As throughout this season, we've seen him establish that fastball. And really in this league, quite frankly, he doesn't need his off-speed stuff because he can just blow it by people. And even if they do start timing things up, then he can go to his slider and his sinker and his cutter. He has everything that you could want in the kitchen sink. He's a guy that brings the intensity. Every time he's on the mound, you can tell with that pitch right there, he was upset with himself and slapped his glove. And to answer your question, William, after this pitch, I can answer it for you. The 2-2, one outside and low, so we'll make it a full count. And to answer your question, that will be 3 1/3 innings pitched for Kyle O'Neill. The full count now from Los. The pitch, swung on, hit high, as Bryce Mortolaro will call that one off. That was hit sky high, right up in the air. And getting the second out there will be Rodriguez. First man he faced in Barrientos. So here is Emilian Pitre. Pitre has reached base twice today after the single and the fielder's choice. That one not tempted at for ball one. That was that slider. As again, with this league, he's probably throwing 70% of his pitches are fastballs. And again, when you have an arm like that, that should not be an issue or a red flag because you want to use your strengths to your advantage. That's like if a football player, for example, has great speed and the coach decides to not run plays for him to use his speed for his advantage. It's just makes sense. Rodriguez with the 2-0. Swung on and missed. Big swing there by Pitre. With the 2-1, that one is smoked out to left field. Chasing after it is Trevor Dean and making a great catch out there towards the gap. And the Washington and Jefferson College outfielder with the catch to end the inning. Your score will still stay at 8-7 heading into the bottom of the 8th. We will turn it to Jerry Reinhardt, Charlie Saccounty, and Bryce Mortellaro. Due to Jerry Reinhardt being a country boy, I'll put on a nice song for him. And after hearing that song for the Country Boy, that song's also called Country Boy, just found it. Here he is, having a great night so far. Leadoff walk and that 2 RBI single down the right field line. First pitch from Hobbs is a ball. And Zach, that's what we love to hear, man. Go Dogs. The pitch from Hobbs, that one hit on the ground softly over to Lucchini, the strong throw, and they get the first out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Extra hitter number 5, Charlie Saccounty.
Just one run, all Batavia needs to tie this game up. As a cleanup hitter there, Jerry Reinhardt was retired, so Charlie Saccounty's turn. And the big strike there as Hobbs commanding the first pitch strike here in this inning so far. Struggled with that in the past 2 innings prior. So Charlie, he's still looking for his first hit in tonight's game. 0 for 3 so far. Big cut there. Again, he was recognized as a player highlight across the entire league for yesterday's performance. That one smoked back up the middle. Charlie Saccounty, right after I mentioned that, he will get his first hit here tonight. So as Elmira has 11 hits so far in tonight's game, that will be number 8 for Batavia. Bryce Mortellaro due up here. In his first at-bat, I talked deeply about this, but Bryce is a guy that seems like things are trending in the right direction for him. He's had a lot of great at-bats, a lot of hard contact, Just looking for those holes in the Pio defense. And that one, nice move there by Hobbs. Getting back in time was Charlie Ciccone. The pitch home. Great curveball in there for a strike by Hobbs. Again, the Samford right-hander. Lowering that ERA. Let's see, Bryce trying to battle back here. That one, ooh, just missed. Again, I'm seeing your comment. You're tuning in from Glens Falls. We love to see a Glens Falls Dragon fan in the comments section. I'm sorry that your drags have not been living up to your expectations. That one was just fought off there by Mortellaro, but it was in play. Petre makes the grab. That's the second out.
Second baseman, number 15, Cameron Conley.
And that's the one weird thing about, the travel this year is we didn't really get to experience a lot of other parks across the league. Majority of the teams that we face have been teams like Elmira. In the entire 50-something game schedule, there's a total of 16 games against the Pios. So we're getting our reps in against Elmira. A lot of games against the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Decent amount, I would say. Next up would be the Niagara Power. And a handful of games against the Geneva Red Wings and Newark Pilots. But again, those are all teams that are in the West Division. The only other game that we will play this season, and it's actually already happened, was against the Auburn Doubledays, and they're in the Central, including a few. That one's a foul tip, and that will be the final out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So if Batavia wants to win this one, it'll have to head to the bottom of the 9th inning, as 8 innings are up and gone. But back to what I was saying, Auburn was the only team that Batavia has played in the PGCBL that is not in the West Division. So maybe we'll see that change in the coming years. Maybe we can visit it next year in Glens Falls. So the YMCA is being played here in the stadium. I'll put a quick tune on for you. And going back on the bump will be Carlos Rodriguez. You're watching Batavia Muckdog Baseball here on YouTube Live. And you are watching Batavia Muckdog Baseball here on YouTube Live. So you have 9th inning coverage here in a tight matchup. These two teams, it seems like they're always playing neck and neck. But more importantly, they're always 7, 8, 9-run ball games, and that's exactly what we have here right now. Elmira is up in this one 8-7. It's been back and forth all day. Elmira put the first run on the scoreboard back in the top of the first. Batavia responded with 2 runs of their own in the bottom half of the inning. made it a 4-1 ball game after scoring 2 more in the second. As Rodriguez gets his first strike against the top of the order here with Jeff Mejia, who's been swinging a hot bat. That one, big cut. But after the 4-1 lead for Batavia, they kind of lost it of sorts. Then responding was Elmira with back-to-back 2-run innings in the 3rd and 4th to then take the lead 5-4. Then broke it open with 3 runs in the top of the 5th to make it a 8-4 ball game. Batavia slowly started getting things going for them, as in the 7th they scored 3 runs, and there is a big strikeout by Carlos Rodriguez to start off the 9th inning. And in that time, since Batavia got back on the scoreboard, they have limited this Elmira offense. That was back to their dominant ways in the middle innings, and here in the latter half of this game, Muckdogs have taken that momentum back, as especially at home. Batavia is 5-9 at home, and a lot of those losses are coming in close ball games, just like this, where they had the opportunity in the bottom of the 9th, but that offense just has not came through. And I was talking to some people with the team today, and I just said, you know, it's just going to happen at the perfect moment in time, as if Carlos Rodriguez keeps pitching like this, you'll be hearing his name in either this year's draft or next year's, because he is so fun to watch. Strikeout number 32 right there. Again, from Tallahassee Community College. But again, it just feels like the Muckdogs are so due to have one of these walk-off wins, or even to have a game in extras. Believe it or not, we haven't even been into extra innings once this year. First pitch, that one was a slider, and getting out of the way of that one was Bobby Marsh. One and 0 count here to Marsh. The pitch home. That one misses as well. So if you're Batavia, especially if you're the pitching staff, after kind of having a few blips early on, Kyle O'Neill came in. He did great. And Carlos Rodriguez is trying to do the same thing here. It's a big 2-0 hack there by Bobby Marsh. So it'll be Marsh and then Shore if he will be needed here. But Carlos Rodriguez so far has struck out the first 2 batters he's faced and gets another strike call there. He is grooving. I mean, he's throwing like it has to be 96, 97 right here. My personal radar is telling me so. Rodriguez in the full. You can tell he's amped up. The 2-2, the pitch home, swung on and hit foul. So much intensity, swagger on the mound. A whole lot of determination as well. He means all business. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but when it's game time, he can flip that switch, and he knows what he has to do. 2-2 again, misses high. Yelled at himself right there. So just give him a challenge pitch here. That pitch in, there's the strikeout on the full count. And Carlos Rodriguez strikes out the side, and Batavia, like I said, they have another situation here where they can come up clutch here in the bottom of the 9th. Some guys that have been swinging good bats that are coming up first here. It's Trevor Dean, Mitch Fleming, and Michael Florides. I'll put the lineup there for you. Play a quick song. We're headed into the bottom of the ninth here on YouTube Live as Batavia is down just 1 run. We will have a new pitcher in the game. I believe it's Jack Sokol on the bump for the Pios.
bensound.com. 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 bensound.com.
And we are back here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Jack Sokol just needed a few pitches to get ready there. And as you can see, 8, 9, and 10 in the Muckdog lineup. Trevor Dean, Mitch Fleming, and Michael Florides are your first 3 due up here. And actually, we have a pinch hitter for Trevor Dean as Jack Sokol is ready to go. Umpire's not even there, and he's on the bump. Again, Jack Sokol is a guy that is from Auburn University, and Batavia's had some success against him. He's only been used 3 times, 2 of those starts against Batavia. The first pitch from him be swung on and missed. Sokol currently has a 6.75 ERA, 3 starts. Again, 2 of them against the Dogs. 13 1/3 innings pitched, so that one gets to the backstop. 16 hits allowed, 10 earned runs, 12 strikeouts compared to 7 walks. And he is 0-1. I believe that loss is against the Dogs. Just swinging through those is the pinch hitter, Joe Georger here. As Georger comes in for a pinch hit opportunity. Very reliable first baseman defensively and a great contact hitter. So he puts that one on the ground, and that one just trickles foul. On the season for Joe Georger, hitting .243 and 37 at-bats. If he gets a hit here, it would be his 10th of the year. 6 RBIs for him. Coming up in a big spot here. They're going to keep Mitch Fleming, who already has 2 hits here today. He's on deck, and that one is fouled way off to the left side, and that one's going to come back into play. So the fans getting into it here. They've been here for this situation before. It's almost too common for them. This time does feel a little different. That one fighting off yet again. Joe Georger, and making another catch is Mitch Fleming. Does feel a little different here. Always been great games against the Pios, and their only walk-off win was against Elmira a few weeks ago in a exhibition friendly game, so it did not count towards Batavia's record. However, if it did, Batavia would be 5-3 against the Pios this season. That one hit on the ground and foul down now the left field line. Piecing together a nice little at-bat. Here's Joe Georger. Nice little compact swing. Try to lead things off here in the bottom of the ninth against now Auburn closer Jack Sokol. realizing that this is a big game for Elmira, is interim coach Andrew Drum. Doing it by whatever means necessary. If that means bringing in one of your starters, so be it. Batavia's going to bring in their shortstop to pitch. That one runs inside, and now it's a full count. Again, with how much this means for not just the seedings, but how you're going to basically run through the rest of the season. That one swung on and hit back yet again. What an at-bat here by Joe Georger. This is a season-defining win if Batavia can pull this one out. By all means, you'd have the momentum as that one will be walked, and throwing the bat all the way into the dugout is Joe Georger. And that one's going to make the Pios a little upset, but a great at-bat there by Joe Georger. Christian Robinson's going to come in relief. And I'm being told that he just came back from injury. That's why he's closing. So thank you for letting me know. Again, he is as Joe Georger just got swarmed by his teammates. Again, Christian Robinson coming in to run because he is such a talented young pitcher from Auburn. So you'd want to have him get his reps as much as possible. And Christian Robinson was turning on the Jets there. Christian Robinson from Clark State University, from Cincinnati, Ohio. A center fielder that is dealing with some arm troubles. He jammed that shoulder back on the 30th, the last time these two teams met. Getting back safely is Christian, as he slid away from a tag at third base, and when he grabbed the bag, that right shoulder kind of came back. So he's had some discomfort throwing. Mitch Fleming tries to get a bunt down. That one will be foul. Again, that's something that Batavia has struggled with a few times so far this year. So an 0-2 count now for Fleming. Does have 2 hits again in tonight's ballgame. Christian Robinson at first base. It'll be interesting to see. Joe Martinez likes to be very aggressive in these situations. He's put the other team on the ropes. That ball was up and outside. Faking the throw there was Barrientos to nab Robinson at first base. Mitch Fleming steps back in the box. Jack Sokol again just returning here in relief. That curveball misses. Maybe it was Sokol that I saw earlier that had that wrist guard on, which would make some sense if he was injured. That pitch will also miss. So great takes there by Mitch Fleming to have another 3-2 count. As Batavia is piecing something together here. Nobody out, a man on first base, speed with Robinson, who is the game-tying run. The go-ahead run at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled. Just going in motion was Robinson. Again, with a 3-2 count, if you're Sokol here, you don't want to walk another guy coming back into this at-bat when it was 0-2. You're going to put a pitch over the plate and basically tell him, hit it. Another full count pitch here. The payoff from Sokol. That one misses. A ball way outside, and throwing his bat is Mitch Fleming. 2 men on now, and the go-ahead run at first base with nobody out. Two huge at-bats from the guys at the bottom of the order. So now here's Mikey Florides. Flo had a 2 RBI single with a flare over the head of Emilian Pitre back in the 2nd inning. You're going to have to put a bunt down here. Makes logical sense, even though he's swinging a hot bat with 2 runners on, nobody out. Put the go-ahead run at second base. I mean, if you're Floridas, you got to get this bunt down. Here in the bottom of the 9th. Again, Batavia finds himself in these situations regularly and trying to come up and make these home fans happy here on Irish Night by O'Lacey's. That one fouled. Mikey Floridas from Felician University saw his Felician teammate have a great relief appearance with Kyle O'Neill. The 1-1. Sokoley's already going to square to bunt. That pitch, he puts it down. That's a beautiful bunt by Mikey Floridas, and he's going to be safe. Bases are loaded, nobody out for your Muckdogs with the top of the order up here with Blair Frederick. What a bunt by Mikey Floridas, uses his speed, and now the bases are loaded for Blair Frederick. Blair Frederick, he's been in this situation. Blair with bases loaded, 1 out a few weeks ago against the Geneva Red Wings. Hit an absolute missile up the middle. Evan Gassler came up with the catch of his life. Caught the ball, threw it over to third base, game over. Just like that against the Geneva Red Wings, and they lost that one 7-6. In their last loss against the Red Wings, they just lost that one 4-3. They've lost to the Power earlier this week, 3-2. They're heartbreaking losses. Again, that's why they're 5-9 at home. If I try to go back through, I guarantee 9, or out of those 9 losses, at least 5 of them, maybe even 6, are less than 2-run losses. But here is the spot for Blair Frederick from Xavier University at Louisiana. Gets that one, and that one's hit down, and that one's just foul. A little looping inside-out fastball. And everybody held their breath at the same time right there. So Blair Frederick trying to be tonight's hero for your Muckdogs here on YouTube Live. A great game of baseball played back and forth all day against 2 teams that have played a bunch. We've also been in situations where there have been bases loaded. You just needed 1 run, and they have struck out the side. That was against the Jamestown Tarpskunks, a team, again, that Batavia has not beaten all season long. The 1-2 from Sokol. That one swung, and a nice hard-hit foul ball there. Just missing that. You can tell his approach is over to Theodorelis in left field. Trying to hit this one the opposite way. And the former LSU Tiger transferred to Xavier University at Louisiana. It's their best player and why they were number 1 in the country in NAIA. He strikes out there to Jack Sokol. Still, far from over here. Spencer Marcus, he had a big hit to make it a 1-run contest. Had a huge hit, a little flare out to center field. That's all you need. You have the speed on the bases now. Trey Bacon came into the game as well. Double play is still in effect. That could end the game. That one outside corner. Not be given the call. Marcus just picked up his 20th RBI. A base hit right here, scores 2. Abner Benitez is on deck. You have the 3 guys right here that you wanted up in this situation. Blair Frederick, Spencer Marcus, and Abner Benitez. And I said to Skip Martinez today, I said, that's why I like lineup number 1 right there, because if you find yourself in one of these situations, you give your top 3 guys a big at-bat. The 2-0, you're looking for something good here. The pitch was out in front on that changeup, it looked like. And that's not the 2-0 cut that you're looking for. Jack Sokol And a 2-1 count. The pitcher from Auburn. That one is low. Nice hold there. Realizing the last at-bat by Frederick with those spike curveballs in the dirt is not tempted there. 3-1. The runner on third, if he is walked, the game will be tied. He's not looking for the tie. He's looking to end it. The 3-1, that one fouled way out there in right field. Base hit mentality here for Spencer Marcus. He's going to get deep in his crouch. He has a great eye at the plate. Again, with Robinson at third base, with the bases loaded, if there's a walk here, your game will be knotted up at 8 apiece and still in striking distance for Batavia to walk it off. The 3-2 from Sokol. That pitch swung on and hit down the line, but foul. Great at-bats being strung together here by your Muckdogs here in the bottom of the ninth. A long 10-plus pitch at-bat with Joe Georger. He gets on. They bring in Christian Robinson to run for him. Another great at-bat by Mitch Fleming. They bring Trey Bacon in for him. The bunt was brought down by Michael Floridas. That ball's put into play. 1 run will score. They'll try to get one. Spencer Marcus is safe at the first base, so your game will still be alive here as the score is 8-8. Spencer Marcus utilizing his speed there. That would have been absolutely tragic if that was a double play ball. So we're at least guaranteed extra innings, but that's not what we want. We want Batavia to walk things off here in the bottom of the ninth. That's what these fans came here for. So they get the easy force at second base, the 6-4 ground out. And Spencer Marcus picks up his 21st RBI. That one is low. Nice block there by Barrientos. Make sure that the game-winning run did not score on a pass ball. And the pitch to Abner Benitez. That one misses low. 2-0. Again, if Benitez is walked here, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Elmira because bases would be loaded for them. The double play all around the world, well, easiest bag at that point. So there's already 2 outs in the inning. There's a great off-speed pitch dropped in there to make it 2-1. So Abner Benitez coming into this at-bat. He's 0 for 4. Struck out twice and 2 ground outs to the first baseman, Bobby Marsh. The 2-1, that one big swing and a miss, and stealing second base. No throw there will be Spencer Marcus. So it's a 2-2 count, 2 outs. A big game for the Muckdogs, for both of these teams. Elmira trying to snap that 5-game losing skid. Batavia trying to add on to this season series lead and have some momentum going into the next 2 games against the Pios. Abner Benitez, he's due for a hit here. The 2-2, swung on, hit high. That one will be ranged out to Donovan Montgomery. That's a tough play, and it gets down! It gets down, and that's the game! Abner Benitez with the walk-off. The flare hit out to shallow left center field. That ball gets down. I said he was due for one. Luck was on Batavia's side tonight. They win this one on a walk-off, 9-8, here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Have a day, Abner Benitez, and this one's over. Batavia wins this one 9-8, a huge win for your Muckdogs here at Dwyer Stadium. A comeback win for Batavia. I said it in the beginning of the inning, and I knew it was going to happen. It was due for Batavia to come through here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Abner Benitez comes through when the Dogs need it most. That's going to be it for tonight's broadcast, as these 2 teams will be facing each other again tomorrow. Batavia will be on the road against the Pioneers at Dunn Field. I will let you know throughout the day what happens with that game, as the weather is not looking too promising in Elmira. However, these 2 teams will be meeting yet again on Saturday. That's going to be it for tonight's broadcast here on YouTube Live. As always, I'm Griffin Della Penna, and thanks again for a great night. As always, go Dogs.